Okay, I'm continuing this second video at home because I started it on the bus and I was attempting to download Messenger so that I could show the message between Angela and I. And they wouldn't allow it to finish downloading. So this is where I'm finishing it. So anyhow, this is what ended up happening. When I got on the bus, I logged onto their Wi-Fi, and when I logged onto their Wi-Fi, I downloaded Messenger. And when I downloaded Messenger, I saw that I had two messages. One was the last one from her last night saying okay, and then the other one was from my brother saying that Miss Carmichael passed away today. That's my great grandmother. Yesterday, they told me that if I went to his employer, that they were going to murder her. This is what the government told me yesterday. And yesterday I went to his employer. Today I got a message from him saying that she passed away. So I happen to have wrote it in my planner. And these are the type of things that are not being taken into account when I bring these matters to law enforcement or covert professionals like psychiatrists. They don't want to factor in all the parts that someone is telling me that they're going to do these things before they do them. So anyhow, I got that bit of piece of information and now I'm livid. Like I've had it up to here. So I get there early and I walk and I walk and I pace and I pace. And finally I'm like, I need to cancel because this could go really, really wrong. I only intended to hit her in her face. Hard as fuck, but that was all I intended on doing. And now I'm so mad that I know I could really hurt her. So I contact her and I leave no room for disinformation. I let her know exactly what happened. I said, I just found out that my grandmother passed away. And I said, my only intent, my only reason for wanting to get with you was so that I could hit you dead in your motherfucking face for smiling at me the last time you saw me. I said, you seem to think that there's nothing of me being on foot. I said, you like the others. You don't read, you don't watch. You just kind of sit back and act like this isn't happening. And I said, and I'm canceling because I know I could possibly kill you today. Like, that's the only reason I'm canceling. I said, but don't get it twisted or something like that. I said, but don't something, like, it's not over, you know. That's why I told her, I said, it's not over. So, steer clear because pretty much I'm able to hurt you. And she said, well, first of all, I didn't take offense to first of all, because first of all is part of her normal conversation. She says, first of all, for common sense, is like for nothing at all. So she said, well, first of all, I didn't smile at you. I was talking to the person that was in the doorway. And I see what's going on. She was like, but I was hoping that you could, but I don't understand. She said, I see what's going on, but I don't understand, or I see what's going on, or something. And then she sent another message. She said, so can you help me understand? I believe that's what she said. So can you help me understand? Even if that's not it verbatim, that's what she was getting at. She was asking me to help her understand. And for her to say, can you help me understand? It's like saying, can you teach me how to read and write? You're telling me you can't read. You're telling me you can't watch. Like, you scrolling through social media feeds all day long, watching nothing. Like garbage. That's all that's in social media feeds is garbage. But you can't watch somebody that you're supposed to care about talk about what the government's doing to them. Anyhow, they murdered her. They murdered my great grandmother, and they won't allow me to cry about it. Like, I was so angered. I'm still angry. I was like livid earlier, and they wouldn't allow me to cry. And then you wouldn't even believe, like, the females had the nerve to be trying to taunt me about it. Like they were making and poking fun about what was done. Female agents making and poking fun about them taking a life. And then they have curses, you know, that they lay on people. They are both female and male would say stuff like they know we did something to her that we wasn't supposed to do, you know, and they'll repeat that a couple of times over and over again. Anyhow, they're talking about my great grandmother. Anyhow, she was 106. She would have been 107 this year. That's not something that should be saw as abnormal. And she was sharp, you know, until they started attacking her mind. I want to explain something to you. I'm fighting for my family. My family is possessed, meaning they're absent from the mind. They have an inability to feel. They're heartless, no souls. So that means when they look at my situation right now, some are like they're ignoring it completely, not even gonna pay it attention, and others are like, you know, it's just not true. You know, they'll immediately combat it because that's what they've been programmed to think, that what I'm saying is a lie. And then there's others that know. You know, sometimes it's an agent. Most of the time when I do with my brother, it's an agent, and they just like no. You know what I'm saying? Like, will try to say that something that I can prove, something that I've proven in a complaint is a lie. So here you are. Imagine this. Imagine it's you. And you're telling your relatives to read, read, read. You think it's nothing for people that care about you to read. You know, if they're acting like they're trying to reach out to you, if they're acting like they're trying to be in contact with you, if they're acting like they want to be in touch with you and want to help, you think for them to read something that you're requesting as simple as reading is nothing. That's nothing. They are not, these demons are instructed not to read and not to watch, and they won't. And they say whatever they're told. They're being informed on how to respond. So like I said, my folks are possessed. They're a reflection of artificial technology. And artificial technology are beings. This is a reflection of the world we live in, the population under mind control. It's a reflection of beings that just exist, and they go throughout the day. They have their little encounters, and they do their work, their job, and they go home and they watch TV. Oh, they're fatiguing my arm. Hold on. Look at this. That's what they're doing to my skin. So it's the souls of my relatives that I'm fighting for. So no different than any of my other relatives. My great grandmother was possessed too. But I want to give you an example of what Satanists do to those that they own. They put themselves through it. So although these agents often show up and use that identity, they will put themselves through something. You know what I'm saying? Like they will detach and unplug from it and kill it. That's the type of stuff that these agents do. And some of them, like, just, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's a lot of double on double activity. Sometimes agents do stuff to one another. So they'll give another agent when they know that an agent is posing as someone a heart attack. But they just wake up in the lab. This is real stuff. Like, this shit is really taking place. They won't allow me to cry. My tear ducts, it's like I don't even have none. It's like I don't even have tear ducts. So some of the things that were taking place leading up to this, they kept talking about my dad and how they've tried to make him seem and look like a responsible party, and that everything that I say goes against that. So although I haven't talked about his past in detail, you know, like I've said enough about parallel reality and how and what it means to try and get away from who you are. And that they're trying to paint a picture of my relatives that they aren't. That's saying enough right there. So this is how they get her from under his wing and get something from her. They keep whatever they stole as far as brain cells, you know, like DNA, you know, hair, nail. I hate that that's always the first thing to come to mind, but it just shows the type of blocks that are in place because there's so much more pineal gland, melanin, those things. That's the stuff that they want, hormones. These are the things that they're killing people to keep, that they're killing off my women to keep. Now, she's not a reflection. She's not a part of our bloodline. She's not a part of our bloodline at all, but she's still a part of my family. So what happened was, weeks prior, so we'll go back probably 2 weeks ago. It was about 2 weeks ago. I was at the library. And, the conversation about death was just way too much. So now I'm like, let me look up a couple things because I'm not in touch with any of my relatives. But I always, ever so often, every once in a while, I check for obituaries to make sure nothing has taken place. When I did that, they manipulated it and said that I was expecting her to be dead. Her and my uncle was the only one that I checked for. So they've been talking about when they ran these test scenarios of how I would react. They saw that I was going to go to the police department over Mark. If they killed my uncle, they saw that I would have went to the police department. So they killed Mozella, my great-grandmother, instead. And they're going to blame it on old age and, stuff like that. It's not normal for Africans to die that young. That's the picture that Satanists have fucking painted to society. It shouldn't be abnormal for an African to live to 107. It should be abnormal for an African to die at 60 or 70.